spirituality has always been an interest of mine, and I'd more or less settled on Zen, no God, no self, seek emptiness and silence, and this, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. I was fine with no self, and personal dissolution. Then a colleague I didn't really know took me aside and told me that she had some information for me that I might find interesting. She told me some stuff that made no sense to me, and invited me contact her if I ever needed to know more. I kinda backed away, saying, sure, no problem, and went home thinking, wow, she's weird, and what was all that about? Never mind, who needs to know? A few years later, I had an absolutely impenetrable emotional problem about a person whose books I'd read in college, but whom I'd never met, and who had died unexpectedly, throwing me into an absolutely crazy state of grief, which I hid from my husband, because there was no way that I could explain these crying jags over a stranger's death. It didn't stop, and I had no interest in going to a shrink, having seen some crazy shrink stuff with my stepfather when I was a young teen. So I called my colleague and said, what the hell is this? And she told me things that made sense of it all, if I was willing to take a wide detour off the general cultural road that I'd grown up on and into paranormal land. It led to attendance at a group séance, with a medium that my colleague knew, and that led to decades of questions and answers, all of which completely altered my concepts of life, death, and personal purpose. Now I'm 81, in good health but still, of course, closer to death than I've ever been, and I sometimes post on Quora about what I've learned, something I began to do because I was fed up with the fact that there was so much stuff from adherents of organized religions, about spiritual matters, and nothing much about what I'd come to think is pretty damn likely. It's been fun, and fascinating, and just the kind of exploration that I enjoy, and what I've learned will do just fine for me through this run.